Hey, Larry Elder here. Thank you for listening to the Bucky Dillon Show, hosted by the Liberty Revolt and KHNC.
What's up, guys? Bucky Dillon here. Good morning. Great to be with you guys. Hey, the live stream is up, and hopefully it will be posted onto the KHNC Facebook page, the Liberty Revolt Facebook page very soon. And guys, that's just one small way that you could help support our mission. You could join the conversation. You could join the fight simply by being a part of our online community. You see, I, like many young conservatives, actually didn't know anything about Rush Limbaugh. Suni, have you listened to much Rush Limbaugh?
Yes, and only because my mother-in-law used to listen to him a lot, and she told me to listen to him, and I would tune into his shows every now and then. And he's definitely a iconic commentator in the political arena, especially being conservative. So that presence will be missed. Now, I don't have the emotional attachment that a lot of Americans feel to it. Like, I know a lot of my friends were like upset, crying. I didn't feel that part of it, but he was definitely a hell of a radio guy. He could talk for hours by himself. I can't even do that.
Oh, I know. And he had a way of condensing complex conservative ideas into something that's like digestible. Because here's the thing about a lot of conservatives. They're so interested in economics and policy and things like that. And they tend to suck at messaging. And Rush Limbaugh really did help facilitate that transition between the heady conservative libertarian ideas and the conservative media platforms. And I mean, in a huge way, he invented it, right? He invented alternative media, talk radio, at least to the extent that we recognize it today. But like I said, most young people don't actually know that much about Rush Limbaugh and have never really listened to conservative talk AM radio, unless our parents or someone, our coworker, kind of exposed them to it. Young people aren't exploring the AM dial. They're just not.
No, they're not.
In order to try to expand our reach, the Liberty Revolt, KHNC, we've started trying to become more engaged online. So we've got a blog page that you could actually become a content contributor for. You can reach us at contact@1360khnc.com if you're interested in putting your ideas out there. But just by liking the page, following the page, sharing the page, checking out the live streams, sharing the memes, these are all things you can do that make it easier for us to reach a broader and a younger audience. So guys, I highly recommend that right now you check out the Facebook page, 1360khnc.com. Suni, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, just so they know who you are? I think a lot of our listeners have probably heard of you with me before, but it's been a while since you kind of introduced yourself.
Well, I am Suni. I am 1/3 of Primetime Patriots. I also run my own podcast called Hot Mic. I'm on the wave. I've started a new hashtag. We got a t-shirt and everything. Make America Think Again. I'm asking the questions that everyone is asking, but I ask it in the form of nobody being, it's just raw, unfiltered pretty much. Um, that's just what we've been doing. We just been exposing truth. Primetime Patriots is kind of trying to make a name for themselves in the news arena because we don't have many media outlets that tell the truth. And I don't think we have a lot of personalities that are willing to not be or willing to be politically incorrect. Like me, I'm going to tell the truth. Doesn't matter how it comes out, as long as it's the truth. Now, I'm not going to go overboard, but I'm really just unfiltered.
AHNC will. Guys, okay, the link to the live stream is up. Facebook.com/1360KHNC. Come hang out with us. I am always watching the live stream on the computer to the side of me so that I can address people's comments, questions, concerns in the comment section in real time. Recently, we've been getting a lot more engagement in that comment section. But hey, if you have anything to say, we'll hop right into it. So the big news recently has been this debate over our energy infrastructure, the direction of our investments in energy infrastructure, and what is going on with Texas. And although that is fun stuff, there's a lot of cool conversations to be had about all that. I personally think that if we really care about maintaining our economic superiority in the world, we can't implement a Green New Deal. We just can't do it, right? You're just going to hand global dominance over to China and Russia, and then everything is downhill from there, guys. But I do think that we should also be investing in green technologies and exploring green technologies. I think they're unreliable, and I don't think they're effective right now. And obviously fossil fuels and green technologies need each other. Think about it. A wind turbine requires 23,000 tons of concrete to anchor it in the ground. You don't just balance it up there and hope the wind doesn't blow it over. It has to be anchored in the ground, and that's to say nothing about oceanic wind turbines. You know how much steel and concrete it takes to anchor a wind turbine in the ocean? And that doesn't even mention how much steel and concrete goes into making the thing, which, by the way, like any other machine with moving parts, requires oil. But I want to talk about weather warfare, so hang around after the break. Chinese state-run media are celebrating the apparent success of Joe Biden and the mainstream news outlets, which act as nothing more than the communications branch of the Democrat Party. Among the many things we are doing to become more engaged in the culture, 1360khnc.com now has a blog page for the sharing of hard-hitting conservative content. Help us break the left's domination of media by becoming a content contributor. Reach out to contact at 1360khnc.com to learn more.
Are you paying too much for your home, life, or auto insurance? It only takes 10 minutes to find out. Hi, this is Kevin Voles with Badger Insurance Advisors. Choosing insurance plans can be difficult. That's why I make it easy. I'll make the calls, compare the plans and prices, and find you the insurance plan that fits your needs. Best of all, my help is at no cost to you. Call me today at 303-359-1799 or visit badgerinsuranceadvisors.com. Let me find the right insurance for you.
Hey, KHNC listeners, Bucky Dillon here. By the way, I just want to let you know, if you're interested in buying or selling real estate, I highly recommend you contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com. He's been doing real estate here since like 2005. And you don't just get him, you get the entire Sears Real Estate team, one of the best in the business, looking out for you on one of the most crucial purchases of your life. Don't mess it up. Contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com.
1360khnc.com has CBD products. Click on the shop button and get yours today.
Just go to 1360khnc.com/shop. The CBD on our website is 99% pure, all natural, no pesticides, non-GMO, is grown organically right here in Colorado, and is 100% THC free. Oh, and did you know ours is the lowest price CBD anywhere in Northern Colorado? For all your CBD needs, just log on to 1360khnc.com/shop.
The Bucky Dillon Show is a Liberty Revolt Media production. www.libertyrevoltmedia.com.
Suni, have you
Yo.
ever heard of weather warfare?
Yes, I have.
Weather
And I think
manipulation?
it's very much so real. I'll just mention one. Um, I'll mention two: Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Harvey. The hurricane that left and then came back and dumped even more water on them. When does that ever happen?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. I don't know anything about weather. And guys, just for those out there listening, watching on the live stream, checking out the Facebook posts, I'm not claiming necessarily that what we're going through right now is some form of weather warfare. But, you know, we've all heard rumors of a little project called HAARP, HAARP. We've all heard rumors of weather modification technologies. And in our country, it seems to be very hush hush. But when we were having fires earlier this summer, this spring, my wife was like, "Why doesn't the government just make it rain?" I was thinking, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, we do that in China all the time. We make it rain if there's a drought or if, you know, we need to help our agricultural industry along or if there's some kind of fire. And when there's key political events or festivals going on in the cities, we get the clouds out of there." Right? That's something China does all the time. And in the first hour, I read an article by Bloomberg talking about, has China mastered weather modification and should we worry? And just for those now tuning in on the live stream, I want to just really quickly go back over this. Has China mastered weather modifications? Should we worry? Using rockets and pickup trucks, Chinese officials are seeding clouds and bringing the rain. But do they have other uses in mind? Last month, 16, quote, artificial rain enhancement rockets were launched off the back of pickup trucks 300 miles south of Beijing. The operation, ordered by the Qiao County Meteorological Bureau in response to a local drought, was reportedly a success. Over the next 24 hours, the country received more than 2 inches of rain that, according to local officials, alleviated the drought and lowered the risk of forest fires. And then it goes on to say that they've been investing in weather manipulation, and that, you know, it wasn't until 1946 scientists at General Electric Company discovered that dry ice can create precipitation when it interacts with clouds. And then in 1953, roughly 10% of the land area in the US had been targeted for cloud seeding. And it wasn't just rainfall, that the military could weaponize cloud seeding to inhibit an enemy troop movements in Vietnam and reduce the effectiveness of anti-aircraft attacks, among other things. In 1978, the Convention on the Prohibition of Military or any other hostile use of environmental regulations went into force. And although we've also had those kind of treaties on developing nuclear weapons, we've also had those kind of treaties on testing nuclear weapons, we've had those kind of treaties on biological warfare. And so far, it seems that countries all agree, and then behind the scenes, they all continue engaging in it as much as they possibly can, assuming that all the other countries are engaging in it as much as they possibly can. So there are other articles I'm looking at here, and we're just exploring this together. I'm not saying this is what happened. We're just okay. According to CNN, Real News Network, China this week revealed, I like to call them CNN, by the way. China this week revealed plans to drastically expand an experimental weather modification program to cover an area of 5.5 million square kilometers, 2.1 million square miles. That's more than 1.5 times the total size of India. According to the statement from the State Council, China will have, quote, developed weather modification systems by 2025, thanks to breakthroughs in fundamental research and key technologies, as well as improvements in, quote, comprehensive prevention against safety risks. China has long sought to control the weather to protect farming areas and ensure clear skies for key events. It seeded clouds ahead of the 2008 Beijing Olympics to reduce smog and avoid rain ahead of the competition. Key political meetings held in the Chinese capital are notorious for enjoying beautiful clear skies, thanks both to weather modification and the shutting down of nearby factories. But we have all heard rumors of warfare. Did you know Trump was advised? This is from February 17th, 2021, yesterday, on Real Raw News. Don't know anything about it, about the source, but I'm just reading the article, folks. Trump advised on, quote, weather warfare in Texas. As Texans froze in Uri's icy grip, President Donald Trump in balmy Florida entertained an unexpected visitor, a physicist who was once at the top of his list, albeit a short one, for chief scientific advisor to the president, according to a source in Trump's orbit, speaking under the promise of anonymity. Dr. William Happer, professor emeritus at Princeton University, is an American physicist who has specialized in the study of atomic physics, optics, and spectroscopy. Well, whatever. From 1991 to 1993, he served as director of the Department of Energy's Office of Science under George W. Bush's administration, but was fired in late 1993 by the Clinton administration after he failed to convince Bill that the science behind the global warming movement was deeply flawed. In short, Dr. Happer has unimpeachable credentials and a stellar history of academic excellence. Anyways, he went to Mar-a-Lago with a warning. He told Trump neither nature nor fictitious tales of earth-shattering climate change was responsible for the storm that had brought the Lone Star State to its knees. A fifth of the state's electricity transmission plants collapsed, and over 4 million Texans froze in the dark, many without water. Dr. Happer, our source said, told Trump the biblical storm was a product of, quote, weather warfare, a technology called HARP. He said had been weaponized and directed at Texas, possibly as a warning to Republican states that have eschewed Biden's COVID-19 policies and promised to fight his dissection of the Second Amendment. HARP is an acronym for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, ostensibly a scientific research program to study the properties and behavior of the ionosphere through the use of direct microwave frequencies. Many scholars over the years have questioned the ethics of HARP, noting its technology could easily be weaponized, and the government claimed to have shuttered the program in 2013 in response to promulgation of bad press and conspiracy theories. Well, this is interesting. What do you think of that? Oh, our guest is gone. Suni is gone. Hey, but if you guys are interested in weather warfare or have any ideas or anything you would like to share with me, that call-in number is 970-587-5171. 970-587-5171. And guys, I would really appreciate it. I always appreciate when you guys get in touch with me. I say it all the time. This show is meant to be a collaboration between myself and the community. So, the other day we had Frank call, and gosh, it was nice to hear from him. We've heard from Bill, we've heard from Herb, we've heard from Jason, and many others who have called in. And I'm not saying that I necessarily believe that what happened in And I'm not saying that I necessarily believe that what happened in Texas was the result of weather warfare. I wasn't there. I don't know, but I'm just exploring ideas because I think they're interesting. Here's an article on weather warfare. This is an introduction. In his 1931 book, The Scientific Outlook, Lord Bertrand Arthur Russell, winner of the Nobel Peace Prize in Literature in 1950, discussed manipulating the weather. It may be that God made the world, Russell proclaimed, but that is no reason why we should not make it over. Charles Darwin, a physicist who worked on the Manhattan Project and also the grandson of the Charles Darwin that we've all heard of, talked about gaining direct control over the climate in his 1952 book, The Next Million Years. Weather modification is now possible. Attempts to modify the weather have been made since at least the late 1940s. In 1947, the U.S. Navy, Army, and Air Force, working with General Electric Corporation, made the first attempt to modify a hurricane under Project Cirrus by dropping about 80 pounds of dry ice into clouds. Project Cumulus, carried out by the British Royal Air Force between 1949 and 1952, included cloud seeding experiments over southern England. It was allegedly responsible for the 1952 flood in the Devon village of Lynmouth, which resulted in 34 deaths and the destruction of multiple structures. In the 1950s, the U.S. Forest Service carried out a project called Skyfire, in which they experimented with cloud seeding technologies to decrease lightning in order to reduce forest fires. Then, under Project Storm Fury from 1962 to 1983, the United States government tried to disrupt the inner structure of hurricanes in the Atlantic by flying aircraft into them and seeding them with silver iodide. Weather modification. I'm going to put the caller directly on the air. Not even going to vet it. Caller, are you with me?
Yeah, I like your topic about the weather, and I think it is true. I've worked outside for the last almost 20 years, and the term geoengineering, I think, is the formal term, but people used to refer to it as they used to say it was just airplanes. It was the exhaust from the airplane.
Oh, chemtrails.
Chemtrails.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in fact, if you go outside on any hot day or just any typical day, look up, and it looks like they're playing tic-tac-toe in the skies, you know?
Yeah, some days. In fact, there was a day just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, what's produced, it's like it just expands, and I don't know everything about it, but just look for your own eyes. But like I said, it's this society today. Everybody's looking down at their phones or looking at the Roku or whatever. They don't look up and see what's really going on up in the skies. And if it doesn't bring rain, what it does is it suppresses the temperatures. It creates like an umbrella effect. And like I said, I've worked outside for the last 20 years, and I'm just telling you what I see. In addition, if you look at when the sun strikes these clouds, you can almost see the aluminum, the barium, the different spectrum of colors that these things give off. And it's like with a regular storm system coming in, it's like injecting steroids into your arm. The effect is this danger weather that we see every time. And with these forecasters on TV, I almost laugh when they give a forecast. They have to give a range of 1 to 7 inches of snow. In the past, I grew up in the 80s, they could pretty much pinpoint how much snow we were going to get, when we were going to get it. And like I said, it's just due to the unpredictability of what happens, what they're doing to the weather. But yeah, you're right. It is a great topic you bring up, and it's true. And it follows everything else with what's going on in this world that people don't believe. They call it conspiracy.
Right. I was saying in the first hour, I mean, it kind of fits into China's unrestricted warfare policy about implementing everything outside of military infrastructure, bullets and bombs, to bring a strong country to its knees. I'll touch more on that after the break. Thanks for calling in.
My name is Dwayne Brothwell. Listen to my show, Mystery Babylon, every Sunday, 11 a.m. I will show you how the birth certificate image of the beast binds you to Babylon the bank for the debt money we use to buy and sell with. That's every Sunday, 11 a.m.
Hey, KHNC listeners, Bucky Dillon here. By the way, I just want to let you know if you're interested in buying or selling real estate, I highly recommend you contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com. He's been doing real estate here since like 2005. And you don't just get him, you get the entire Sears Real Estate team, one of the best in the business, looking out for you on one of the most crucial purchases of your life. Don't mess it up. Contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com.
Hey, it's Larry Elder. Thank you for listening to me every weekday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on 1360 KHNC, the roar of the Rockies. Do you own a business in northern Colorado or surrounding areas? Are you looking to reach a conservative, family-based, loyal audience which could grow your business? Well, take my advice and just call 970-587-5003 or email on the air at 1360khnc.com and tell them Larry sent you.
Why does it seem America is slowly sinking? Whose fault is it? It's not the Obamas or the Clintons. It's not Republicans or Democrats. It's not corporations, the military, or foreign countries. It's the Federal Reserve, a central banking system made up of private bankers that corrupt and control virtually all aspects of the world's money supply and the economy. All of the major problems of the world can be traced to the Federal Reserve and central banks of other countries. Hi, I'm Jason with the Colorado Front Range News Hour. Catch my show with co-host Brian here on KHNC 3 to 4, Monday through Friday. We sell gold and silver, the best way to protect your hard-earned money. Call 800-951-0592 and keep those blood-sucking bankers out of your wallet. Does this corrupt monetary system give you a whack to the head or a poke in the eye? Call Patriot Trading Group at 800-951-0592. That's 800-951-0592. Don't be a stooge. Buy gold and silver today.
Hi, folks. This is Terry V. Tune in every Saturday at 2 p.m. to my new show, Terry's Views of the News. The show is about current politics. It's a hard-hitting, truth-seeking, conservative view show. So tune in on Saturdays at 2 p.m. You'll be glad you did.
欢迎收听 KHNC 广播电台 Bucky Dillon 早安秀，大家的早安广播，谢谢。
I appreciate the last call. That phone number is 970-587-5171. Man, I forgot to get your name. Please consider emailing me, buckydillon at khnc.net, and introducing yourself. I'm really glad to have you in the audience and hanging out with me this morning. Guys, again, that phone number, 970-587-5171. I won't even vet you. I'll put you straight on the air. So I'm looking at an article, Weather Modification. Is it a conspiracy, fact, or both? No, first, I want to go back to some of the history here. In the 1950s, the U.S. Forest Service carried out a project called Skyfire, in which they experimented with cloud seeding technologies to decrease lightning in order to reduce forest fires. Then, under the project Storm Fury from 1962 to 1983, the United States government tried to disrupt the inner structure of hurricanes in the Atlantic by flying aircraft into them and seeding them with silver iodine. Weather modification involves three major categories: the suppression of weather patterns, the intensification of weather patterns, and in some cases, the introduction of completely new weather patterns. I would also like to interject. I've heard that they can kind of steer storms and steer clouds in different directions. Multiple countries, including the United States, are now modifying the weather. In November of 1997, the Wall Street Journal reported that in order to dissipate excess fog, the Malaysian government would be signing an agreement with Russian officials for the use of technology which would allow them to create a cyclone. The state-run Oklahoma Weather Modification Program conducts cloud seeding operations in Oklahoma to enhance the development of rain showers and thunderstorms. In October of 2005, Business Week reported that China, Russia, and Mexico are modifying the weather, with China spending about $40 million a year officially on weather management programs. Since the early 1960s, Weather Modification Incorporated of Fargo, North Dakota has offered a professional weather modification service to insurance companies, water resource management groups, and federal and state government research organizations. They specialize in weather modification, cloud seeding, rain enhancement, and fog dispersion. A Russian company called Elite Intelligence Technologies Incorporated has offered a professional weather modification service using directed energy since at least 1992. The unit consists of a power supply which provides current to a series of antennas that focus an electrical charge into the air. The unit is conducted to a computer that can tailor weather patterns over a distance of about 200 miles. So, how does that fall into weather warfare? Well, obviously, there are some pretty nefarious utilities for that kind of weather modification. According to the U.S. military, according to U.S. military reports that appeared in 1996, weather modification will be used across the entire spectrum of conflict to achieve domestic and international military objectives. However, weather modification has already been used for military purposes. During the Vietnam War, the U.S. government used weather as a weapon called Project Popeye, which was an attempt to increase rainfall over a supply route called the Ho Chi Minh Trail, which extended from north to south Vietnam. The technique used seeding units, which were composed of silver iodide, developed at the Naval Weapons Center in China, Lake California. The project began in 1966, lasted for half a decade, and was considered a success. In 1970, co-founder of the Trilateral Commission advocated the convert use of weather attacks, such as long periods of drought or storm, to force a nation into compliance. The United Nations Weather Weapons Treaty of 1977 warned that scientific and technological developments may open new possibilities with respect to the modification of the environment, and that the hostile use of these techniques could have effects extremely harmful to human welfare. The United States Air Force mentioned that the UN's Weather Modification Treaty, which prohibits the hostile use of weather modification, is not applicable because their attacks will not be large scale, encompassing several hundred kilometers, long lasting several months in length, or result in serious injury to human life. But do these global communities really follow any of these conventions? I doubt it. Regarding the deception which will be used to mislead the enemy and create conditions of deniability, the U.S. Air Force said that the enemy's information systems would be spoofed so they'd make the wrong decisions. The spoofing would also allow them to disguise their weather attacks. They said it would be indistinguishable from naturally occurring weather. The Naval Law Review 1998 article, a premiere on the employment of non-lethal weapons, stated that weather modification could be used as a NLW, non-lethal weapon. In 1994, U.S. Air Force JNLWD report also advocated using weather attacks to reduce the comfort levels of the enemy. These weather attacks, according to non-lethal weapon advocate John Alexander will play a strategic role in future conflicts. He describes weather warfare as a possible weapon of mass destruction. The United States Navy in 1994 non-lethal warfare proposal acknowledged the successful use of weather modification as an instrument of warfare in Vietnam and described how the creation of floods, blizzards, and droughts could be used to destroy a nation's economy. The creation of fog is now possible. Synthetic fog made from glycols and glycerine has even been proposed as a non-lethal weapon. Fog has been widely used in the entertainment industry for years. According to the United States Air Force, equipment exists which will quickly generate thick fog 100 meters long. A precision lightning strike with synthetic lightning is also possible. In a 2005 book, Weapons Grade: How Modern Warfare Gave Birth to Our High-Tech World, mentioned that artificial lightning had been accomplished using lasers. One reportedly had a range of about 200 meters, but could possibly be extended to about 2 miles. The 1997 Weather Wars, Pentagon Plans Weather as a Weapon article by the New York Times noted that the United States Air Force was considering the use of such lasers for lightning attacks. The U.S. Air Force itself referenced using controlled lightning strikes to attack its targets. The Tofflers suggested that lasers can even be used to cut holes in the ozone layer above the land of an adversary. According to this information, weather modification is possible using electromagnetic waves, and in the United States and other countries, large weapons platforms to accomplish this appear to have been created, such as HARP. You're listening to the Bucky Dillon Show. We're just exploring ideas here. I hope you guys are having a great day. The weather was a little bit tough this morning. Coincidence?
Debuting Saturday, March 6th, right here on KHNC 1360 AM, the Roar of the Rockies, and every Saturday morning, March through October, from 7 to 8 a.m., the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. Topic focused, guests from across the country, and answering your garden questions. Submit your questions now to gardentalkradio@gmail.com or call anytime to 1-800-927-SHOW. That's every Saturday morning from 7 to 8 a.m., right here on the Roar of the Rockies. Catch the replay Sunday afternoons from 4 to 5 p.m.
Hi, this is Mike Morris, owner of Warriors Revolution Tactical in Longmont. At Warriors Revolution, we have the largest selection of tactical gear and ammo in northern Colorado. But what many people may not know is that we now sell firearms. And even despite the recent run on firearms and ammunition, we have plenty of product in the store, including ARs, AKs, Glocks, SIGs, HK, and more. And don't forget all the bulk ammunition at the best prices in town. Need to do a private firearms transfer? We can do that too. I am a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and our team is made up of veterans and security experts, not a bunch of salesmen. Our team is trained and fought with much of the actual equipment we sell. And one thing you should know is that we support the foundations and principles this great country was founded upon. So if you need tactical gear, ammo, firearms, AR parts or upgrades, and even survival accessories, stop by and visit us on Ken Pratt Boulevard and Bowen Street in Longmont, or visit warriorsrevolution.com. That's warriorsrevolution.com.
Hey, KHNC listeners, Bucky Dillon here. By the way, I just want to let you know if you're interested in buying or selling real estate, I highly recommend you contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com. He's been doing real estate here since like 2005. And you don't just get him, you get the entire Sears Real Estate team, one of the best in the business, looking out for you on one of the most crucial purchases of your life. Don't mess it up. Contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com.
Great minds think alike. Thank you for listening to the Bucky Dillon Show, hosted by the Liberty Revolt. Join me, Larry Elder, today at 5 on 1360 KHNC. Now back to Bucky Dillon.
Guys, this show is made possible by our advertisers and sponsors. The Bucky Dillon Morning Show is sponsored by Jerry Axum at Sears Real Estate. He's been in northern Colorado for like 60 years, and he's been in real estate since 2005. My wife and I are currently in the process of buying our first home. It's an incredibly intimidating process. And remember that the contract you are signing is written up by lawyers and bankers. That should put up some red flags. So I highly recommend you do not go at it alone. If you're interested in buying or selling real estate, or just have questions about the real estate business, talk to my friend Jerry. I mean, seriously, it doesn't hurt to know more. It never hurts to know a little bit more. And owning real estate is one of the most effective ways of making yourself financially independent. Stop throwing your money away by renting and just giving it away. Start building equity and buying property. I mean, property almost always increases in values, right? Especially here in Colorado, we've seen how rent has increased, how property values have increased, and right now interest rates are essentially zero. I mean, they're as low as they're going to be. They're as low as they're going to get. It's a great time to buy. But hey, it's a big decision. I'm just saying, if you have questions about buying or selling real estate, I highly recommend you contact my friend Jerry Axum, Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com, and just learn more about the real estate industry. I mean, imagine what your life could be like if you owned property and you didn't have to make payments on where you live, or and your house accrued value over time, and then you could leave something significant for your children or grandchildren. Or just imagine if you purchased a property and then rented it out to someone and just had that passive income contributing to the development of your wealth. I mean, really, it's a great investment to make. It's one of the best investments to make. Every financially wise person will own their home eventually. So don't be renting. Don't be throwing your money away. Contact my friend Jerry. Also, you could support the radio station by liking our Facebook page, by sharing our Facebook page, and engaging in the conversation with us, or by helping yourself by checking out the CBD products on our website, 1360khnc.com. We have a tremendous deal on CBD products, and we could go on and on about the health benefits. I mean, it is considered the most effective therapeutic substance known to man. It's way healthier for you than relying on pharmaceutical painkillers. And when you spend your money on our CBD products, you know that it's going to a good cause. You know that it's going to people who care about this country, not some big pharmaceutical conglomerate that just sees you as something that they can extract wealth from. And honestly, many of these pharmaceutical companies have tremendous leverage over the FDA. The FDA actually lets the pharmaceutical companies report the efficacy and safety of their own drugs. That's like asking your painter if they did a good job. Of course they're going to say they did a good job, right? Of course they're going to say, "Oh, it's great, it's going to last for years," right? The FDA lets the pharmaceutical companies run their own tests and decide the safety of their own tests, and then they lobby regulations and laws that make them immune when there is a bad problem. And so many of these drugs are just designed to get you addicted, are just designed to suppress the symptoms while leaving the underlying cause of your problems there to grow over time and make you more dependent on pharmaceutical drugs. So seriously, guys, just explore CBD products. Just look at how great they are for your health. You can do all this research on your own. One of the great things about the hosts at KHNC is we don't tell you what you have to believe. We rely on you to do your own research because we respect you. We think that the American people are smarter than our politicians and our media give them credit. So check it out for yourself. And if it seems like something that could benefit you, which I'm pretty convinced is what you'll find, check out 1360khnc.com/shop to help yourself and help the station. So, weather warfare and China. You know I love talking about China. By the way, this Sunday, come down to the station around 4 o'clock, and I'm going to be giving a speech about China, and hopefully hanging out with you guys and strategizing ways to kind of bring awareness to the issue. The Chinese Communist Party is working on the most powerful weapon, a weather manipulation controller. It's the one thing we can do little about except put on some sunglasses when it's sunny and grab an umbrella when it's wet. But China is not taking the weather lying down. Instead, it is expanding a weather modification program. What is it? Essentially, it's there in the title. A project to control the weather, which creates artificial rain or snow. The practice of, quote, cloud seeding was discovered in the United States in the 1940s by a chemist working for General Electric. China then launched its own similar initiative in the 1960s, and dozens of countries have programs on the go. What is it exactly? It's the manufacturing or artificial rain and snow by spraying chemicals like silver iodine or liquid nitrogen into clouds to make water droplets condense and fall as rain or snow. It is China's largest project. Thought to employ around 35,000 people, China's State Council has announced that it is expanding the project fivefold to be able to cover half the vast country in artificial rain and snow by 2025. The State Council said the project will soon cover 2.1 million square miles, about 56% of China's entire surface area. What's the purpose? Cloud seeding aims to try and create good weather conditions for a variety of reasons, ranging from aiding crops to preventing natural disasters. The State Council said that thanks to a breakthrough in its fundamental research, the project will be a worldwide advanced level by 2035 and be able to help alleviate disasters such as drought and hail and facilitate emergency responses.
Do you need your fireplace cleaned? Not sure if your fireplace is working right or not sure if the fireplace is efficient? Call Abundant Flame at 970-966-0217 to schedule your appointment. We service all brands of gas fireplaces, freestanding and built-ins, pellet stoves, wood fireplaces, and electric fireplaces. Visit us at Abundant-Flame or call 970-966-0217.
I mean, the whorishness of the media knows no bounds.
It's pretty exciting for the country.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
So you'd think I'd be into this.
He can't help himself. He goes to work. And here he is, working both himself and the Biden administration.
So we're very proud to be part of that mandate.
Journalisming up the wazoo.
Proportionality is the whole ballgame.
The erection.
Very proud of that.
Erection.
Big mandate, a bigger mandate than John F. Kennedy.
It looks exactly the same size as a picture of my kids at the park.
Ooh, wow. I'll have what she's having.
Donald John Trump.
Performing unspeakable acts upon the administration.
Hour after hour, all the evils in the world.
They're the human centipede. They're just the human centipede.
Just shooting out from the Lincoln Memorial along the reflecting pool. It's like almost extensions of
the erection.
And it wasn't the only thing shooting out in this particular clip. And then awkwardly stroking our hair and sniffing us.
The cute pictures of my kids are not as newsworthy.
Very proud of that.
The erection.
Amazing.
But the lack of proportionality is what really gets me.
It's pretty exciting for the country.
Proportionality is what it's all about.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
It's pretty exciting for the country.
All of the music for the Bucky Dillon Morning Show was provided by my band, Beer for Bears. Find us on social media by looking for Beer for Bears. Well, that was an interesting little clip that got slipped in there somehow. Yikes. Good morning, guys. I hope you're having a great day. You know, one good thing about about this kind of weather. It actually does employ a lot of people. It's a lot of work to remove this much snow, and it's good that people are working and that the government's money is being spent on bolstering the economy and creating jobs that actually produce value, such as removing snow. But I fail to believe that just because they're spending money on this means they're going to spend less money in other areas. Unfortunately, I believe they will continue to spend as much money as they possibly can, and then some. As much money as the budget will allow, and then some. Right? So, China believes that its weather modification will have reached worldwide advanced levels by 2035 and be able to help alleviate disasters such as drought and hail and facilitate emergency responses to forest and grassland fires. Will it focus on certain areas? The state council said weather modification will intensify in areas of mitigating drought, hail, fires, and high temperatures, while also assisting agricultural production and preserving ecological protected areas. When did China's effort bear fruit? Shortly before the 2008 Olympics, China wanted to clear skies for the major event and launched a cloud seeding project, which it said was successful in forcing anticipated rains to fall in advance. Between 2012 and 2017, it spent more than 1.34 billion on boosting weather modification efforts, ultimately seeing it able to fire bullets filled with salt and minerals into the sky. It's been successful so far. In January last year, Chinese state media said cloud seeding had prevented crops in the western region of Xinjiang from around 70% of hail damage. And it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The announcement from China has intensified concerns over the unregulated nature of weather modification at present. A climate expert at the Manipal Academy of Higher Education in India said, without regulation, one country's effort could affect other countries. How so? The proposed expansion is on such a huge scale, for example, it could affect regional weather patterns, and amid tensions with neighboring India, weather warfare is also a concern. What is weather warfare? It amounts to the use of weather modification techniques like cloud seeding for military purposes and is not a new concept. Yep. And this article links to articles that I've already written to you guys. But hey, we only have a couple minutes left here. Gosh, actually, we have about 20 seconds left. Guys, I just want to say thanks for hanging out with me this morning. You can stay in touch with me by checking out my Facebook page, facebook.com/Liberty Revolt, where you can message me. You can see all of the content I put out through KHNC and through my outside media projects. You can also visit www.libertyrevoltmedia.com to see articles, and check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/Liberty Revolt for much more content. Check out the website, 1360khnc.com/shop. Help yourself, help us, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.
1360 KHNC is proud to announce our partnership with My Kind CBD, a local Colorado-based company that uses no pesticides, no herbicides, completely organic, no